Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. This is Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Thank you for joining us today for the midweek edition of this program, where we look into very critical issues of public good, public discussion. That is what we do here, 7 a.m. every weekday. And Femi Ojo is my name. We look through the front pages of different papers for the headlines, and of course, we talk about these issues, identifying challenges, critiquing situations, offering solutions to these issues with men and women of good conscience, patriotic Nigerians, and of course, women and men of different opinions and views, because as they say, that is the spice of life, varieties. Again, I say good morning to you. Good morning, Daniel.
Yeah, good morning, Femi.
Yeah, good to be back here again.
Absolutely, great to be alive.
Right, of course, biggest gift the biggest gift anybody can have.
Absolutely,
is the gift of life.
Absolutely. So when there is life, there is always hope. Hope for a brighter tomorrow. Hope for a better tomorrow.
Even renewed hope.
Absolutely, renewed hope. Talking about, in the words of Mr. President and his presidential campaign promises, unfortunately, Nigerians are not really seeing it that way on the average. I mean, it's all about hope being preached by the administration, but Nigerians need to really see it. The presidency has come out over and over again to say that, things will get better, you just tighten your belt.
Well, things are even getting better.
Say tighten
I think that's where they are right now.
That things are getting better.
We have turned the corner. The light is, we can see the light of that tunnel.
He can see the light, but not every Nigerian is seeing it from where he's seeing it.
Right.
So that's the point. Again, of course, there is a lot of money in government. I mean, the allocations to even states have increased and all that. So they are not complaining. Okay, those in government are not complaining. But the question once again is, has it trickled down to the average citizen of Nigeria?
Talking about complaints, there are even talks about maybe there might be an upward review of salaries and emoluments of public office holders. Because in the words of those proposing it, they said, it's been long. Since 2008.
That is one thing.
As the president just earning 1.5 million naira in a month. Can you imagine 1.5 million naira for Nigeria's president?
That's one thing about the revenue mobilization and fiscal mobilization allocation and fiscal commission. They are just trying to be exactly. They're just trying to be hyperactive, or they're trying to be officious. And Nigerians will say, "Who sent you?"
Well, so that's the salary of the president. They have made everything known. To say this is the salary of Mr. President, 1.5 million naira. To number 001, 1.5 million naira. But there another question.
Does he even spend this? That's a question. Does he spend?
Nigerians want to know.
That's the official salary. Yeah, that's the basic salary.
That's the basic.
So there are so many entitlements.
I'm sure many Nigerians will tell them, you can say that of the president. Tell us that of the senators. That's what we want to know. How come you can say that of the president and ministers, but when it comes to the Senate, in fact, a member of the Senate who tried to do that said his head was almost cut off. In fact, he had to be saved by the president. The Senate president then, that was Shehu Sani.
Exactly, for trying to reveal.
He said, never will he try that again. But now, 1.5 million naira for your president, Daniel, come on. You people should do better.
Well, it's a beautiful Wednesday morning. Good morning to you, Nigerians, and good morning to you, wherever you're viewing us from. Emeka Daniel is my name. It's a pleasure to be back here against the midweek edition of Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Rest assured that we will always bring you the best of content, the best of information. Talking about the newspaper reviews and, of course, the interview section where we go into critical matters. I'm speaking with stakeholders across the nation, talking about issues of local, national, and of course, international importance. You do not want to miss any part, any segment of the program. Thank you once again for joining us this morning.
All right. Issues of public importance is what we are still going to look into. But by the way, this day in history, today, August 27, 2025, is another anniversary of the creation of Osun State. 34 years ago, 1991, August 27, this state was created. And of course, 34 years after, here we are right now, from the state of the living spring. It was formerly the state of the living spring. Then when Governor Aribeshala came, it became the state of the virtuous. And after Governor Adeleke came, it was reversed to the state of the living spring. And so here we are. Either it's the virtuous or the living spring. This is Osun State. One would say, many persons will averagely say is a civil service state. Actually, not really a commercial state. Maybe partly agrarian in nature and all of this artisanal work and all of those things. But then where we come from, from this state was created from the old Oyo state, actually. And so in 1991, the state capital was put on Osogbo, quite a controversial issue, by the way. But then this is where we are right now. From the first state governor, Colonel Leo Ajiborisha, military administrator at the time, to those that have come from Leo Ajiborisha to Anthony Udofia, to Anthony Obi, even the late elder brother of the current governor, Isiaka Adeleke Serubawon, the first executive governor of Osun State, now to the military days as well, Udofia, Anthony Obi, Colonel Theophilus Bamigboye, and then in 1999, Governor Chief B.C. Akonde came on board. Then Olagunso Yoyilola came on board more than 7 years. Then Rauf Aragbeshola 8 years. Then Boyega Oyetola 4 years. Now Governor Ademola Adeleke more than 2 years. And that is history, everybody. And as we are talking right now, history is being made. So the question is, the dreams of the founding fathers, is Osun State living that dream? If there is any dream or destination at all, if there is a vision.
That was a question I was about to ask. What is the dream?
We come from? Where was Osun State in 1991? What were those things that we started with? And what are those things that we currently have now? Civil service, the commerce of the state, agriculture, sports, industrialization, education, health. Many questions that needs to be asked.
Absolutely. And maybe Osun State has come a long way, 34 years. No one should say Osun is still young, we should give them time. 34 years is a long time, exactly. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse to say that, no, we are still, a nascent state or a fledgling state. Osun State is grown right now. So we should begin to ask, serious questions. How far has Osun State gone? I mean, in terms of economy, in terms of policies, in terms of innovation. One big question is, what is Osun State known for? What does Osun State stand for? So these are questions our leaders should be asking themselves, that what actually can you say the state stands for? What are you known for? Is it sports? Okay, is it industrialization? Of course not. Is it agriculture? Of course not. I'm talking about being number one in a particular sector in the nation. So every state should really stand, and be known for something and work towards that. That's the joy of, being an independent state, so to speak. Because you have resources allocated to you, it's left to you to determine how you deploy those resources to improve your state, because every state has its own governor, has its own cabinet, so they can actually, come up with initiatives, to make their states great. But once again, congratulations to Osun State on 35th anniversary, created 34 years ago. Osun has come a long way. So we are waiting to see what next for Osun State. What next? You talked about the slogan for the state. It has always been the state of the living spring for me. I never, the other one never resonated with me. What do you call the other one? I can't remember.
Maybe because you weren't here.
Exactly.
During those periods. For almost 7-8 years of Governor Aragbeshola, it was the state of the virtuous. All of those Omoluabi ethos, and Omoluabi is about hard work and being responsible. Actually, when you are called Omoluabi, that means you're a gentleman, not like a quiet man. No, you're a gentle person who abides by the law, who is enterprising, who is virtuous, who will do the right thing and not break rules. And all of those things, not just for Osun State, Yorubas are known for them. The moment you say, Omoluabi, then that means you're a good person, doing well for yourself, whether a man or a woman. But then many promises have been made in the past by different administrations. And what did they do with those promises? How have they fared? And this morning, it's a time to really speak. By the way, we made effort to speak with any of the cabinet members right now. Maybe, just maybe, that conversation might come up. But then, because the people now in government, they are the ones in power. And they are the ones, although everybody is almost busy right now. Not almost, busy, with the next year's election. August 8th less than a year to the next election,
Absolutely.
August 8th, and so their hands are full. Now, I think those in power now even have their hands full with the issue of the local government administration because the issue of money, and we are hearing maybe Osun State is heading to court,
to Supreme Court,
right now,
yes,
to seek interpretation. That means maybe they are bold enough, and they have been emboldened, especially with that resolution of the NBA last week, which might give any organization or government to say, I think we are doing the right thing. Let's take it. Let's come aboard. And, politically speaking, many persons will be saying, this support that you people say you want to give to Mr. President and his party, and they are the ones up there, hope it won't backfire. But then, if your ambition, if a state governor's ambition or the people in power's ambition to retain power is why they can't come out straight for what belongs to the people, then many persons will say maybe they are not worth staying there because the people have voted for you. And if you think their mandate counts, and if you think you have a just cause, why not go all the way? If you have your fingers burned politically, so be it.
Absolutely.
You have been there before. Out of 4 or 5 million Osun State people, if anybody is opportune to be governor for 4 years, that's a 5 million to 1 chance of anybody being a governor. And so it's a privilege for anybody to hold accountable, to be held accountable and to hold in trust the trust of millions of people. And, many persons will agree with Osun State to say, maybe this is the right thing you can do. Instead of the back and forth political hiding and games and calculations that hasn't yielded anything.
Absolutely.
There is a place by the law, given by the law, go for it. And if actually you have it, fine. Osun State people will know. And they are watching, not Osun State people, the whole world is watching. And the eye will be on the judiciary. Let's see what you do with these. And if actually it is political, the governor's calculation doesn't work, fine as well. You will always be known as Mr. Governor.
Yeah, that has always been my, argument here, that what's the sense in it? What's the logical sense in it? When you belong to a political party, you should be fighting for your party in all ramifications. But when you've already pledged support for another party in the presidential election, now there's a conflict of interest already. There's a huge conflict of interest because, again, when you're supporting someone from another party, you can't really go all out and fight that party to get what belongs to you. That's the point. So it's quite a conundrum, so to speak. Let's just hope they resolve it. Because when it comes to money, okay, look at that period when it was widely rumored that the governor was trying to defect to the APC. Yeah. A lot of people from the PDP already defected to the APC in anticipation of that move. Finally, he didn't defect. Because if he had defected, if the governor had defected to the APC, of course, they won't be talking about the local government allocations. They will just say, okay, just release it to the APC chairman. That would have been the conversation now. But now that he hasn't defected, he's still in the PDP. Now the PDP wants the money. So much confusion, so much confusion.
So much. But then I joined millions of Osun residents and, indigents to say congratulations. Osun State on the 34th anniversary of the creation of the state of the living spring. We should, Osun State, just like any other state, is not bereft of talents, of big people doing great things in art, in culture, in religion, in commerce, in health, in almost everything. We can do better than we're currently doing right now. And of course, we hope that, we don't know if there are plans. We understand there will be
a celebration. There should be.
A state broadcast this morning by Mr. Governor. We wait to see.
All right.
I think it should be on now. Right. And so we wait to see the content of the plans of Mr. Governor.
A quick one, Femi. What's the meaning of Oshogbo? I heard something. I just wanted to confirm from you, since you're a son of the soil. What's the meaning of Oshogbo?
Son of the soil. I'm not an Oshogbo indigent.
It doesn't matter. So what's the meaning of Oshogbo?
We'll do that behind the camera.
Why don't say no? People, we have viewers from other countries. Okay. They would like to learn. From other states in Nigeria, from other countries.
You heard something.
They would like to learn. So
let it out.
What I heard might not be true, so I want to hear it from you.
I'm not from this state. Okay, I'm not from this town.
You are denying yourself.
I'm not.
You say you're not from this state.
No, I'm from Osun State.
All right.
I'm a full-blooded Ijesha man.
So here's what I heard. I quite made logical sense that Oshogbo means Oshoigbo. It's a compression of Oshoigbo.
Meaning what?
So mean Oshogbo, that is bush witch. I mean, witch of the bush, something like that.
I hope you won't use English to put yourself in trouble.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted you to. That's why I wanted you to interpret it. So
I don't know.
So the guy was saying that Oshogbo means.
You know, one thing is on this program we speak to facts. So I'll not.
That's why I asked you to. That's why I asked you. But literally in Yoruba language, that's the meaning. Literally, if you interpret literally, exactly.
According to what
I just give you a literal.
Because I'm sure Baba Yemi.
According to what I heard,
Baba Taja might be watching this and be saying, "Who is that guy that is calling Oshogbo Witch of the Bush?" I don't know.
That's a literal interpretation of the language. That's just it. So I just wanted to know if there's another interpretation to it.
According to what you heard. It's better you put it that way.
According to what I heard, and according to the literal interpretation of the language, at least thankfully I understand the language.
The Oshogbo you are talking about?
No, I'm talking about
it was Calabar and Hausa. You are making effort to trend. Is that trend?
I'm making a lot of friends.
All right, we'll take a quick break. And it's not about Oshogbo right now. It's about the Nigerian conversation. Congratulations to Osun people. Stay with us. All right, quite humorous there. I wonder if Daniel has picked up a career. Yesterday, I wouldn't want to say what he was trying to confirm or his interest in some people's language. Today is on people's name. Tomorrow, we wait for the next
sometimes we need to go deep and understand meanings, just for the sake of education, enlightenment,
it's okay.
To understand.
I'm saying I'm with you, but I'm not with you. It's all right. Let's look straight right into the headline segment from different dailies that we have today. Let's start with the Nigerian Tribune. So succinctly put, Osun takes federal government to Supreme Court over withheld local government allocations. A Nigerian Tribune. Osun takes FG to Supreme Court over withheld local government allocations. Challenges transfer of local government funds case to Abuja. All right, we said that earlier. I know your partner's firm to develop Oluyole Free Trade Zone. Or your partner's firm to develop Oluyole Free Trade Zone and Zone we boost economy, create 5,000 direct jobs in 24 months. That's the rider to that. Or your partner's firm to develop Oluyole Free Trade Zone and a rider to that says confirms Zone we boost economy, create 5,000 direct jobs in 24 months. And beside that, when she ashing dollars,
exactly. It will trigger some reaction.
Here we are. Because what will be your defense? What will be the federal government's defense? That they are not making money, or that they don't have it, or simply you are inferring that those people are not worth that kind of care. That's just the thing. $100,000, it has a ripple effect. And this is not about if the girls deserve it or not. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
The moment that you have it, you pronounce it with houses, with national honors, and a professor is getting less than 500,000 naira monthly. A professor, do you know where you'll have come for you to become a professor in Nigeria?
I don't know how they do
and you just see some girls who have been together for maybe 6 weeks or 2 months preparing, and in the 3 weeks competition, because they became first and they are having $100,000.
The professors will be depressed.
It can really be depressing.
That is
because
why,
you know how many years do you have to work before you can earn almost 159 million naira? And this was earned in 3 weeks. So where is the balance?
They'll be depressed. That is why I do not envy Nigerian professors for anything. I will never envy a Nigerian professor.
Well, it's a decent. It's a decent achievement. But in fact, not decent, excellent.
Absolutely. But
for you to become
here,
a professor,
the way they are treated here, the way the teaching profession is taken, is not encouraged. And I told you I used to love teaching a lot.
Right.
But when you look at their conditions of service, you say no. I remember then, back then in school, before we graduated, one of the top people, senior lecturers, asked a few of us if we would like to be lecturers, and those of us he asked, none of us showed interest.
Why?
Of course, you know why.
Obvious.
You know.
All right.
We wanted to go out there and make,
right.
and do some great stuff.
Yeah. And court orders 6 banks to furnish IGP with account details linked to Showore. Interesting. Another court orders forfeiture of 5 billion in shares linked to ex-Army General. That will be all from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
And from the Nigerian Tribune, we go straight to the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. 2027. PDP ticket zoning to South splits North. 2027. PDP ticket zoning to South splits North. With some riders below it. The first one there, we have parties' northern stakeholders to review decision next week. Away from that, move may favor Tinubu's re-election. One Arewa youth. Move may favor Tinubu's re-election. One Arewa youth. And beside that, we have another one. Zoning fair to South, says Middle Belt. Zoning fair to South, says Middle Belt. You can read up details of that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the top strip, U.S. court jails Osun monarch over $4.2 million COVID-19 fraud. U.S. court jails Osun monarch over $4.2 million COVID-19 fraud. Femi, this is massive. An Osun monarch being jailed over $4.2 million COVID-19 fraud.
The case has been on for some time, and back and forth. I think the sentencing was just pronounced yesterday, and it has to do about fraud and all of those things. False presentation of business entities, false pretense to obtain loan for. There are so many loan funds during COVID-19. Small businesses were helped. Even in Nigeria, especially in the US. Grants. And so the court said false pretenses. The man who is in see here, I think the Apetumudu, that is it in that place. They don't care about your royalty and they don't care about your status. You are just another person to them. And they so much did their work that, unfortunately, or I wouldn't say incidentally, because we are talking about justice, so I can't say unfortunately, incidentally, the man, because he has a dual citizenship, so he goes, he comes, he goes, he comes, he went back into the system, and they are prepared for him, and that's the way. But no, this is not talking about him being an urban now, but we're talking about prosecution, diligent prosecution. That's how it should be.
A criminal is a criminal. It doesn't matter your title.
Yeah, and you don't really need to arrest and then go to court to detain. Because that's what some of the prosecutory bodies in Nigeria do. In Nigeria, rather, do. They go arrest an individual
before doing
and then go to court to say, please give us 14 days, give us 28 days, so that we can work in on this. How about, Yoruba will say, Amafunlara. No suspicion. Allow the person go. If you need to travel, we've seen so many of those cases of fraud that have been busted by the CIA and the FBI. And sometimes they travel around the world. They don't need to do anything.
And they're just watching you. Exactly.
It might take 2 years. They're on it. But the moment they come for your arrest, know that they are ready. By the time they tender your evidence, it's either you do plea bargain or you are ready to go in for it. And I think that's more diligent. But in Nigeria, FCC will come and say, we are looking at 14 governors. Until tomorrow, nothing will happen.
Blowing trumpets everywhere.
That's just
nothing is happening. Well, anyways, that's quite, it's not looking good. When leaders should be taking care of their people, and they are busy, siphoning the funds and diverting them. Away from that, moving on to other stories. Still on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. 239 first-class lecturers quit Unilag over poor pay. That's what I'm talking about. 239 first-class lecturers quit Unilag over poor pay. That's coming from XVC. You see that story on page 7. I know one personally. I know one who's a friend, a first-class lecturer who quit because of poor pay. He quit and he left the country, and that's what's happening. Away from that, ASU protest rocks campuses ahead FG talks. ASU protest rocks campuses ahead FG talks. You'll find that story on page 29. Without allocations, Osun drags FG to Supreme Court. Without allocations, Osun drags federal government to Supreme Court. You'll find that story on page 7. Probe begins as Abuja-Kaduna train mishap injures 6. And on the bottom strip, all right, that'll be all from the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, so much to really look into today. The last one, the Punch 2027 PDP ticket zoning to South splits North. Parties northern stakeholders to review decision next week. Another writer says move may favor Tinubu's re-election. The Punch, and of course, just a quick one from the Daily Times. Daily Times, NSA hands over 128 rescue kidnap victims to Zamfara government. And you can see that below that, the issue of that incident of the derailed train. And, you know, one we even say, thank goodness that those, when that happened, it wasn't maybe in the thick forest, that the bandits will feast on them. Remember what happened? The same Abuja-Kaduna road years ago, and it took almost a year before some of those that were kidnapped were rescued. Negotiations upon negotiations. And this is why, especially when we talk about those scavengers, don't just say, you know, there are some things we say is poverty. Yes, we know the place of poverty. But if, I used to say, if poverty will make somebody to go and remove that kind of infrastructure.
No, this one is beyond poverty. Yeah, this is wickedness. Because you know it could lead to an accident. It will lead to an accident.
Yeah,
exactly.
And, you know, everybody should know. And PDP reps lament hardship, ask Tinubu to wake up to task. Interesting. I'd like to know that rep. PDP reps lament hardship, ask Tinubu to wake up to task. And I hope they have their names as well. Because to say is we are the ones saying it. Baba, wake up.
Absolutely.
5 arrested for raping minor in Bauchi. That's gross. That has no place. Rape has no place in that society. NGX project $90 billion market opportunities. Nigeria, Brazil deepen investment ties. And NAMA boost here safety with NCA certified ATC simulator. Top strip, NSI BNRC commence investigation into Kaduna train derailment. And Tinubu orders ban of share nut export. Share nut export. We should not, I mean, there is a ban on that by Mr. President, man, and I just like to know why.
Exactly, that's a question on my mind as well.
All right, you know, we are being told right now, you know, for exigencies and of course for some technicalities, we might have to take a pause and call it a day here abruptly on this program. Is to serve you better. We apologize for the inconveniences, but we just have to go at this time. Femi Ojo is my name. We'll see you tomorrow. Strong and better. God bless Nigeria. And
Emeka Daniel is my name. Do have a fantastic midweek. Good morning.